Okay, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining today's Spotlight Series presentation. Today we're highlighting computer science graduate programs, and with us we have Professor Stefanos Nikolaidis, who will be giving us a lot of insight into the computer science department, as well as the graduate programs in the computer science department offered here at the Viterbi School of Engineering. So just a bit of housekeeping. We will be following up in a couple of business days. So you'll have a copy of the slides after tonight's presentation. Throughout the session, if you have any questions, please go ahead and chat them in by using the chat icon, and we can answer them at the end when there is time for a Q&A. So tonight's program will be about the USC Viterbi School of Engineering, for those of you who haven't joined me at a previous webinar, and then our Masters of Science programs in Computer Science, and then some frequently asked questions. I'll also talk about the Dennett Viterbi online delivery method. And then at the end of the session, we'll have some time to answer any questions you might have for Professor Nikolaidis or myself. So just an overview of the University of Southern California. Again, for anyone who hasn't joined us at a previous info session, we are the oldest private university in the Western United States, founded back in 1880. Currently, we have over 47,000 students, of which are 26,000 graduate students, and then we also have 4,700 full-time faculty members, which includes our adjunct faculty members coming from a variety of different industries and backgrounds. We also have a very diverse student population representing all different backgrounds and locations around the world. And for those of you who are not familiar with the LA area, we are located roughly a 15-minute drive away from downtown Los Angeles. So an overview of the Viterbi School for you. The Viterbi School specifically has 8 academic departments. We have over 6,800 graduate students as of fall 2023, made up of our master's students, both online and on campus, as also our doctoral students. In terms of our faculty, we have 213 tenure track faculty, 16 full-time, and 34 total TTNAE members. We also have over 90 recipients of the National Science Foundation Career and National Presidential Young Investigator Award. Alongside our faculty, of course, comes research. So USC Viterbi is a leader in funded research with over 35 research centers, majority of which are located here in Southern California. And over $177 million are invested in research expenditures on an annual basis. Our faculty members, with the support of the doctoral students, conduct a ton of research that is then published and then incorporated into the classroom for our grad students to learn from. Very happy to introduce you all today to Professor Nikolaidis. He is an associate professor of computer science here at the Viterbi School of Engineering. He earned his PhD in robotics from Carnegie Mellon University, his Master's of Science in Aeronautics and Astronautics, as well as a Master's of Science in Precision Engineering from MIT and the University of Tokyo, respectively. And he also received his Bachelor's of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering from the National Technical University of Athens. He's also a 2024 Okawa Foundation Research Grant recipient for exceptional contributions to advancing human-robot collaboration. So thank you so much again for joining us tonight, and I will start out with some frequently asked questions, so I'll hand it over to you, Professor.
Well, thank you very much, and a real pleasure to be here in this presentation, and thanks for the great introduction. So the Department of Computer Science at USC Viterbi is a department that has a very large master's program. It has a PhD program. It consists of multiple faculty, both tenure and tenure track professors, as well. So it's assistant professors, associate professors, full professors. It has 1,800 undergrad students, 3,600 master students, and 400 doctoral students. Specifically, as you can see in the slide, it has 93 full-time faculty, 50 full-time tenure track faculty, and 21 new full-time faculty hired since 2022. It has also 6 members of the NAE, 2 members of National Academy of Science, and 1 Turing Award winner. And as you can see, we have some exceptional new tenure track faculty in the department that joined very recently. And so some of the highlights is our colleague Cyrus Shahabi is leading a 1.2 million effort to simplify how medical professionals analyze data. Bharat Raghavan is exploring ways to efficiently manage green energy. Lauren Eady is investigating how synthetic neurological data could speed up the training of brain-computer interfaces. And Bistra Delkina is working with researchers from the USC Suzanne Dworak Peck School of Social Work to identify individualized PTSD interventions for veterans. And we actually have a new home, so the Ginsburg Hall is a new home of computer science. And it's actually the first LEED platinum certified building that we have on campus. And so in terms of the student population, we have a very large program in computer science that has more than 1,000 students, but we also have a CS data science master's program, a CS game development master's program, CS for scientists and engineers master's program, and CS for artificial intelligence program. And so these are example computer science faculty. So you see here we have Heather Culbertson, Joe Teshmuk. We have a teaching faculty, but we also have some exceptional research faculty as well. And so we also welcomed this year 21 new faculty with varying levels of expertise, ranging from human-computer interaction up to controls and planning and robotics. We also have like faculty that have different types of expertise that range also from that specialize in computer graphics, like Oded Stein, as well as faculty that do core machine learning theory. So really, our faculty span the entire spectrum of computer science, both theory and applications. In terms of the department's leadership team, so the chair of the department is Professor Nina Medvidovic. And we have 3 associate chairs. So we have Emilio Ferrar, who is the associate chair for the PhD program, and then GJ Halford, who is associate chair for the undergraduate programs, as well as myself, who is responsible for the master's programs. And then there are specific area chairs, so there are specific people that preside different areas and specializations, and these areas are vision, robotics and graphics, theory and computation, systems, databases, software engineering, as well as AML and privacy. What is really exciting is that the whole explosion of AI was really started with an innovation called the transformers. The key authors of the transformers were actually USC graduates. So Ashish Vaswani and Nick Parmar pioneered this foundational technology, and also Barrett Zoff, another graduate of our program, is tech lead at OpenAI. We also have students that excel in applied robotics. So PhD students Chris Denniston and Isabel Reyes have been developing ways for autonomous robots to locate toxic algae in lakes. And these are different types of highlights. So students really get an exposure of different types of research and applications, and they really have the opportunity to follow their passion through the different research labs that work together with the students in this program. And one interesting highlight is that Thiloson Nagaraja, the master student in our department, has developed actually a device that stops plastic debris from polluting the oceans. And also, these are also different types of testimonies where people don't just do cutting edge research, but they form these lasting relationships that are very helpful both in a personal and professional level. Okay. Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to repeat the question, but yeah.
Okay, so what master's programs are available in computer science?
Yeah, so we have 5 different programs. So we have the core Master of Science in Computer Science program, but then we also have more specialized programs, so CS in Artificial Intelligence, CS Game Development, Data Science, and CS Science and Engineers.
So can you explain the difference between the Masters of Science in Computer Science and the Master of Science in Computer Science for scientists and engineers?
Yeah, absolutely. So typically, most students that come to USC in our department for graduate studies, they have some computer science background. And so the Master of Science in Computer Science, it has a core curriculum with a required course that is analysis of algorithms, and this is a rigorous course that assumes some fundamental knowledge of computer science, but then focuses a lot on theory and complexity. Um, and it has also several other elective units that so that it gives students the opportunity to explore different types of specializations as they move forward to their degree. On the other hand, the Masters in Computer Science for scientists and engineers is more an expanded degree, and it's specifically designed for people that may not have an academic background in computer science. So they could have an academic background, for example, in engineering or science, and so it offers students a sequence of fundamental courses that gives students that have not had strong exposure in computer science the tools to pursue a graduate degree. And so the total program units there are 37 units, and so there is, as you can see in the slide, there is an introduction to programming course, there's an operating systems class, there's an introduction to computer networks class. So there are specific courses that students in this program are required to take to strengthen their background in computer science, so that then they can move forward to take more specialized courses.
And I will jump in here. Thank you so much, Professor. That was super insightful. And then now I'm going to talk a bit about our online offerings. So as Professor Nikolaidis already mentioned, we have a number of programs that are online available online via our Dennett Viterbi online delivery method, which includes the General Master of Science in Computer Science program, the Master of Science in Computer Science Data Science, and then our Master of Science in Computer Science, again, for scientists and engineers for those without the CS undergraduate degree. So in terms of delivery methods, all programs, of course, are available on campus, with a majority of on-campus students tending to take courses full-time, but this is definitely not a requirement. It also depends on your goals in terms of how soon you'd like to complete your program. But typically, on-campus students tend to take anywhere from 2 to 3 courses at one time, if not more, and they usually graduate within 1.5 to 2 years. Normally, students who choose to take summer courses will finish on the earlier end of that 1.5 to 2 years. And then in terms of our online delivery method, a lot of our DEN students are working professionals. About 85% of our Dennett Viterbi students are working professionals. So they generally take maybe 1 or 2 courses per semester on average. But you definitely don't need to be a working professional to be a Dennett Viterbi student. So we do have some students that are just in a different location and want to study full time, and that's possible too. So it's super flexible, but on average, Dennett Viterbi students are graduating in about 2.5 to 3 years. But everybody has up to 5 years to complete their degree program, and if that's not enough, you can even petition for an extra 2 years. So how does Dennett Viterbi work? So this is the Viterbi School of Engineering's state-of-the-art proprietary web-based delivery system, and this enables students from all over the world to access their classes in 2 ways. So you could watch live by streaming in, or on demand afterwards as a recording. Dennett Viterbi students do also have a physical seat in all the classes that they're enrolled in, so if you'd like to drop in on your classes, if you're in the LA area, you're absolutely welcome to. You are viewing the very same lectures with the very same professors as on-campus students, and the content is fresh every single semester. You're able to participate in highly interactive discussions with your professors and peers, and you'll be submitting your homework electronically. You will, though, have to take exams at a proctor testing center located either near your home or your work. This is the only requirement that you actually go anywhere. And then if you live in Los Angeles, Orange, or Ventura County, you will be coming to USC to take your exams on campus. So this slide just shows a comparison between a Dennett Viterbi student and an on-campus student. So the program admission requirements are exactly the same. So you'll be submitting the very same graduate application and all accompanying materials. Weekly course lectures would be online with interactivity for Dennett Viterbi students, but on-campus students would be attending, of course, at USC's campus. DEN students will have access to course archives and documents and recordings, whereas on-campus students only have this privilege if they're enrolled in a Dennett Viterbi course. Um, Assignments for DEN students can be submitted electronically, but the deadlines are the same across both delivery methods. Exams will be taken at a proctored location for DEN students, but again, if you are living in Los Angeles, Ventura, or Orange County, you'll be coming to USC's campus to take your exams. In terms of the courses per semester, again, it really varies. If you're a working professional, again, we typically don't recommend taking more than 1 or 2 courses at a time just to balance that with your workload, your professional workload. So you would be in about 8 units at a time. And if you're watching this as a recording and you are part of the armed forces or a veteran, um, then you would need to enroll in 8 or more units to receive many of your benefits. The degree completion requirements are the same and vary by program between 27 and 37 units. And then finally, all Viterbi graduate programs require students to maintain at least a 3.0 GPA. The diploma is the very same and will not distinguish whether you were an online DEN at Viterbi student or an on-campus student. So what are the application requirements and some tuition and fee information? So for those of you interested in the spring 2025 semester, which begins in January, the application deadline was on September 1st. If you want to get started in January, we actually recommend that you enroll as a limited status student. And I invite you to join us actually tomorrow for our limited status webinar. And we'll be able to give you more information on how to get started in the spring semester because the deadline has passed. However, if you're interested in fall 2025, the application deadline will be on December 15th. And again, as we did with spring 2025, we can offer an application deadline for those of you interested in pursuing your degrees online via DEN at Viterbi. So just some additional information. So for prospective DEN at Viterbi students that want to get a jump start and start taking classes as soon as possible this upcoming spring, again, before formally applying for admission, this can be done again through limited status enrollment. So this option does require that you have an undergraduate GPA of at least a 3.0 and that you have you majored in engineering, math, or a hard science or a related field from a regionally accredited university. Um, or such as a course in computer science, again with a cumulative GPA of at least 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. And limited status is limited in the sense that you're allowed to take a maximum of 12 units, which typically equates to 3 to 4 classes before you apply for formal admission and you are no longer able to continue a limited status enrollment. It's important that you note that this does not guarantee that you'll be admitted when you do formally apply eventually. But if you'd like to get started taking courses and you meet the requirements, all you need to do is complete what's called the DEN at Viterbi profile, which is a super quick process. Oh, let me go back. And then we also have a program called Employer Reimbursement Deferment. This is something for students whose companies reimburse them for tuition after the semester ends. So rather than having to pay out of pocket, you can defer your payment of up to 90% of your tuition until the end of the term. So in order to be eligible, your employer does indeed need to reimburse you for your tuition, and your student account needs to be current. And you can take a look at the additional requirements there at the bottom of the slide. There are a few. So it's important to know that every single program will have unique application requirements. For example, how many letters of recommendation, if any, to submit. So make sure to check the website and navigate to your program of interest to view the specific criteria. All right, do we offer any scholarships or funding? So for DEN at Viterbi students, we offer the DEN at Viterbi Scholarship, which is a merit-based scholarship and awarded to outstanding students pursuing a master's degree online through DEN at Viterbi. So it's a partial scholarship awarding between 1 and 4 units for those receiving partial or no tuition reimbursement funds from their employer. It must be used within the academic year that it's awarded, and you can reapply every single year. So to be eligible, you do need to have at least a 3.0 GPA from your undergraduate institution or have an application on file or be a newly admitted student. The spring 2025 deadline was on November 15th, and the fall 2025 deadline will be in June. All right, to get started, for those of you that are planning to attend on campus, uh, You are welcome to visit our lovely campus, and the same thing goes for those of you who are planning to attend online via Dennett Viterbi. And whether you're planning to be on campus or an online Dennett Viterbi student, we encourage you to get started with your application for formal admission or to get started as a limited status student in spring 2025. And again, if you'd like to get started as early as this upcoming semester in January, you can complete your Dennett Viterbi profile and complete courses as a limited status student. All right, so now we're at the Q&A portion of the presentation, so we'll go ahead and open the floor to anyone who'd like to ask any questions using the chat function, and I'll allow a few seconds here for any questions to come through. Okay, I don't see any questions coming through in the chat or Q&A function. So again, thank you all for joining or watching this as a recording later on. Wherever you are, have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, and as we say at USC, fight on.